The crystalline towers of New Draconis gleamed under three suns, casting rainbow shadows across the diplomatic quarter. Jordan adjusted his worn jacket, feeling distinctly out of place among the elegant dragonfolk who glided through the streets with effortless grace. 6 hours ago, he'd found a small dragon girl crying behind a market stall, her iridescent scales dulled with fear. Now, he stood before the obsidian gates of the Everscale estate, wondering if he'd made a terrible mistake. The gates opened silently, revealing a dragon woman whose presence made the air itself seem to shimmer. Lady Seraphine Everscale stood nearly 8 feet tall, her scales a magnificent gradient from deep sapphire to molten gold. Her eyes, ancient and calculating, fixed upon Jordan with an intensity that made lesser beings forget how to breathe. "You are the human," she said, her voice like distant thunder wrapped in silk. "The one who returned my daughter." Jordan swallowed hard, but held his ground. Humans didn't bow, didn't break. That's what had earned them respect among the Galactic Coalition, even if they were the youngest species at the table. "Yes, ma'am." Ariana was lost. "I just helped her find her way home." Something flickered in Seraphine's eyes, surprise, perhaps, or approval. "Just." She descended the steps with fluid grace, her tail sweeping behind her like a royal train. "My security detail searched for 3 hours. You found her in 20 minutes. Curious, for a species barely 2 centuries into space travel. We're good at finding things," Jordan replied, thinking of humanity's relentless expansion across the stars. "It's kind of our specialty." A small blur of copper scales suddenly shot past Seraphine's legs. Ariana, no taller than Jordan's waist, crashed into him with surprising force. "Jordan, you came. Mother said you might not, that humans don't like owing debts, but I knew you'd come." Jordan steadied himself, grinning despite the formal setting. "Hey, little spark. Told you I'd make sure you got home safe, didn't I?" Seraphine watched the exchange with unreadable eyes. Ariana, inside. Now, the young dragon girl's face fell, but she obeyed, glancing back at Jordan with worried eyes. When they were alone, Seraphine circled Jordan slowly, like a predator assessing prey. "Do you know who I am, human?" Lady Seraphine Everscale, head of the Merchant Guild, controller of 70% of the rare mineral trade in this sector. Jordan met her gaze steadily, and a mother who was scared out of her mind when her daughter went missing. The dragon woman stopped mid-stride. For a long moment, silence stretched between them. Then, impossibly, she laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a storm. "Humans," she mused, shaking her head. "No other species would dare speak to me with such familiarity." She gestured toward the estate. "Walk with me, Jordan." "Yes, I know your name. I know everything about everyone who enters my sphere." They walked through gardens that seemed to defy physics, flowers floating in geometric patterns while small dragon hatchlings played among them. Jordan noticed Seraphine's shoulders gradually relaxing, the predatory edge softening. When Ariana disappeared, Seraphine began, her voice quieter now. "I mobilized every resource at my disposal. Dragonfolk do not lose their young. It simply doesn't happen. And yet," she paused beside a fountain of liquid silver. "A human trader, barely scraping by in the lower markets, found her where all my wealth and power could not." Jordan shrugged. "I wasn't looking with satellites and security drones. I was looking the way a scared kid would run. Back alleys, quiet corners, places where she could hide and cry without anyone seeing." "You understood her fear." "Yeah." Jordan's voice grew distant. "I was a lost kid once too. Long time ago, different planet, same feeling." Seraphine studied him with new interest. "The reports said you gave her your emergency rations, shared your water, carried her the last mile because her wings were too tired. She was 8 years old and terrified. What else was I supposed to do? Most would have called authorities and moved on." Seraphine's tail coiled thoughtfully. "Dragonfolk value debts, Jordan. You saved my daughter, asked for nothing. Such actions create complications. I don't want payment." "I know. That's precisely the complication." She turned to face him fully. "I am one of the wealthiest beings in this sector. I could give you ships, credits, properties. But humans," she smiled, showing just a hint of fawn. "Humans don't trade in simple currencies, do they?" Jordan thought of Earth's strange rise through galactic society. Humanity hadn't conquered through military might or ancient wisdom. They'd won respect through sheer, stubborn determination to treat every species with the same basic decency, and to never, ever give up on those who needed help. We trade in trust, Jordan said simply. Yes. Seraphine nodded slowly. Yes, you do. And that, young human, is why you terrify species who've ruled for millennia. You build bridges where others build walls. She produced a small data crystal that gleamed like a captured star. This contains a contract. Not for payment, you'd refuse. Instead, a partnership. Your human instincts combined with my resources. We'll find lost things together. Lost people. Lost hope. Jordan took the crystal, feeling its weight, both physical and metaphorical. Why? Because my daughter was lost, and a stranger helped her without hesitation. Because in 3,000 years, I've rarely seen such purity of action. Seraphine's eyes softened. And because if humans can teach an old dragon new tricks about kindness, perhaps there's hope for this galaxy yet. Behind them, Ariana's excited squeal echoed from the estate. Mother, can Jordan stay for dinner? Please. Seraphine and Jordan shared a look, her ancient and knowing, his young and determined. In that moment, two species found common ground not in trade agreements or territorial treaties, but in something far more powerful, the simple act of one being helping another. Stay, Seraphine said, her voice warm with genuine invitation. Let an old dragon learn what makes humans so impossibly, wonderfully stubborn about caring for others. Jordan grinned. Only if you promise Ariana won't breathe fire on my food again. Last time nearly cost me my eyebrows. As they walked toward the estate together, the three sons of New Draconis set in a blaze of glory, painting the sky in colors that no single species could have imagined alone. Somewhere in that cosmic display, humanity's greatest strength shone clear, the refusal to walk past someone in need, no matter the cost. The galaxy was learning what Earth had always known. Kindness wasn't weakness. It was the strongest force in the universe.